In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to produce a quote using Quest Integrated Product, otherwise known as Quip. Just one important note before we start is that in order to book services via Quip, you will need to have the client's first and last names as well as their dates of birth. While you don't need this information to quote, you won't be able to book services without this client data. So navigating to Builder, I will now begin to build a quote via the API. I've loaded an accommodation and location as normal, and now we'll select service. The two main differences you'll find is this chain link. The chain link indicates that this particular service is available via Quip, though it doesn't necessarily mean that that service is available for these given dates. The service search will allow us to search all available options for this particular location. When I select service search, it will show me the date, room, and occupancy to verify. I can change the date as well as these other two columns, though room and occupancy is automatically pulled from the room ID as set on the passengers tab. So do make sure that you are checking that and setting that as you'd like prior to going into Quip. For the date, I'll just go ahead and change this and then search to go ahead and enter Quip. Now, as you can see, we've entered into a new screen. What this is doing is connecting with all of our suppliers via their live API, and we now will be able to scroll through all of the available hotels for given dates and the parameters that I've requested. You'll be able to see all of these as listed from low to high, though you can also change it from high to low. And if you did want more information about a particular hotel, you could simply click on the name. And then once this loads, you'd be able to see Audley's internal description, as well as the supplier's external description. So as we can see, this particular hotel is offered by two different suppliers. If I wanted to see more information in the available rooms for a particular hotel, I would select this View Rooms button over here and wait for it to connect to the supplier. Once it connects, I'm able to see all of the available room types and scroll through them to select which one fits best for my client. I'm also able to see what particular supplier this is booking through. For the status, API available indicates that it is available. The only other status that you'll see in here is on request, which means that it is not available via the API. For the cost rate, this is the one that you want to pay attention to, as this is the rate as set by the supplier. So this is the supplier cost. And importantly, when selecting the megaphone, you are able to see the cancellation fees as well as the resort fees. And just as a reminder, you should always be checking the cancellation fees when booking with Quip. So now that I'm happy with my particular room type, I will go ahead and add it to the basket. You can see this green check mark appear, and I'm able to see the service up here in my basket with all of the given information. As we add things into our basket, it will appear in chronological order, which will make it very easy to keep track of all of my services. So now I'll go ahead and show you how you can build out a few services here in Quip without having to navigate back and forth between Builder, which will save you quite a bit of time. So I'll just go ahead and change my dates, hit search, keep the same room and occupancy parameters. And now I can go ahead and select another hotel for my given dates. Again, I'll scroll through, make sure that I take a look at the cancellation fees, and once I'm happy, I'll select add to basket. Now you can also change the location here. So I'll simply type in a new location and then select my new dates. Again, I'll go ahead and view my rooms, double check my cancellation fees, and add it to the basket. So now I can see I have 3 items in here appearing in chronological order. The next thing and great feature of Quip is that you are able to also switch between accommodation, car rental, transfer, and activity. Just note that car rental is currently not available using Quip, but activity is, so I'll just show you what we can do in terms of adding activities, otherwise known as excursions, into our itinerary. So as you can see, it defaulted back to day 1 as well as the original first location. So you can view the options similar to the room types. In this case, there's only one available option, so I'll add that to my basket. And then in some instances, you will see a pop-up, and this comes directly from the supplier verifying the meeting point as well as the time of the excursion. So I'll go ahead and confirm that as I'm happy with it. I can then again switch to a different date, search, select a different location and or excursion, add that to my basket, confirm the requested information from the supplier, and again, also change my locations. So if I had forgotten what date they were in Palm Springs, I could simply refresh my memory between the 5th and the 8th in my basket, and then set it for the correct date that I'd like. So now I have 6 services in my basket, which I can clearly see here with all of the pricing. So now that I'm happy, I'll go ahead and add that to my itinerary. This will then bring me back to Builder, where I can see everything which is available in the inventory status via the API. And I can also see the sell price. Now, one last feature that I wanted to add, which is probably the best feature of Quip, is templating. So in order to template, I'll simply template as normal by inserting a template here. I've favorited the itinerary, so I'll select that and insert it into my current itinerary. And just one important note about templating is that the original itinerary does have to have been quoted via the API, so you won't be able to quote anything prior to the API going live. And as you can see, not only has it looked at all of the live availability for every service item, it's also pulled in the new costing based on these new dates. So basically, we have a brand new functionality where you are able to build and price an itinerary in just a few seconds.